Hi everyone, welcome to my latest vlog. I hope you're all keeping well. Today we're going to be talking about the Smithsonian. So I think most people have heard of the Smithsonian Institute and the Smithsonian Museum, but it's actually the world's largest museum, education and research complex and takes in 19 different museums, galleries and facilities, 2 of which are in New York and the rest are all here in Washington DC. So the good thing about the Smithsonian galleries and museums is that they're all free. Some of them you do have to go online and book, but a lot of them you just turn up on the day and head on in. So because of my love of animals, I decided that my first Smithsonian outing was going to be to the Smithsonian National Zoo. And I was so looking forward to this because I'm an animal lover. I don't mind zoos, especially those that are all about conservation and trying to do right by the world's population of animals. So I headed on down there for a day of looking at hopefully some animals that I hadn't seen before, and I was really lucky to do that. Getting there, again I'm on the metro, so it's an absolute breeze. I got off at Woodley Park to the longest escalator I've ever seen. I was going to take a photo of it and then just got a little bit nervy on it. And I mean, I know what you're thinking. It's an escalator. You get on it, you stand there and it does everything for you and you don't have to worry. But this thing, I reckon I was on it for 2.5 minutes. That's how long it was. And you just sort of start to think, you know, this is a little bit steep. What happens if I do lose my balance and just go, you know, a little bit backwards? I'm going to do myself a bit of an injury. And, you know, and you're going up and that's fine. And then you've got the handle and it's not completely in sync. And so I did just think, oh, look, I'm just going to stand here and maybe I'll get a shot on the way back. But circumstances meant that I didn't go back to Woodley Park. I'll tell you about that later. Anyway, so headed in to the Smithsonian Zoo, and for it's a very large zoo, and it was there's a lot of really lovely big enclosures, and that was really good. It was a fantastic day. I went early to make sure that, you know, avoid the crowds, because it was a weekend. It was a Saturday, and the weather was really warm. I think it was going to be about 30 odd degrees with a bit of humidity as well. So I'm not used to humidity, so I went with good amount of water so that I could keep hydrated and made sure that I took breaks along the way. I got to see some lots of animals that I'd never seen before, which I was really happy about. So I got to see an Andean bear, a bear that lives in the Andes, and there was about 3 of those. A lot of South American birds, really colourful as well. I saw a rhea, which it sort of looks like a cross between an ostrich and an emu, and that was cute. An American porcupine, which I'm really happy about because the Monado Zoo in Adelaide have had a couple of porcupines there for a while. Few years now, and every time I've gone there they haven't been there. The first time, it was a bit too soon for them and they were still sort of in there getting used to the place pen, so they weren't on display. Then the next couple of times, I don't know, they weren't around, and so I just thought, God, I'm never going to see these bloody porcupines. So when I saw this one, I was really happy. It did nothing and it was very lazy and was having a sleep. I didn't care. I've managed to see a porcupine. Got to see some prairie dogs. So that was really good. I haven't seen any of those before in the flesh. I saw a clouded leopard. I think I have seen one of those before, but I was a fair distance away from it, but I've got my good camera with me. So I was clicking away, and it wasn't until afterwards that I saw, I got a couple of really good shots of its beautiful little face. So I was really happy about that. There was a deer calf that was outside one of the displays. So they've got cages, and I think it was a camel in there or an ostrich or something. And then there was like a I don't know what you call it. You've got our path and then there's like a moat, but without water. And it's just got grass and it's sort of like a runway type of a thing. Well, there was a little deer calf there, and it was just pitifully mewing or mooing or whatever the hell it was doing, and they were trying to catch it. Now, I don't know if there are deer in Washington, and it looked like a reindeer, so the little spotty kinds. Now, I don't know if they were wild or whether it's part of to be honest. So it was fairly on that was early on in the day. And I'm trying to think now, I don't think I saw any other deer. So I have a feeling that might have been a wild deer, which was very nice. They come into the zoo and have a bit of a look around. Anyway, the other cute thing I saw was a chipmunk. Now, I know that I've shown a lot of squirrels, and I'm seeing a lot, every time I see a squirrel, I'm pretty much taking a photo of a squirrel because I find them adorable. Well, I was stopped in my tracks when I found a chipmunk. And I started clicking away because, again, this wasn't a chipmunk that was in captivity. This was just a chipmunk that lives in the zoo and is wild and is free to come and go as it pleases. And so I was very excited. And look, I didn't embarrass myself by just squealing, going, "Hey, chipmunk!" But it was close. I might have gone, "Ooh, chipmunk!" I started taking some photos, and some guy did have a bit of a chuckle as he was walking past me. He's probably thinking there's Andean bears and prairie dogs and clouded leopards, but she's excited about a chipmunk. I was excited about the rest of them, but definitely was excited about the chipmunk. Now, what was surprising, again, the only chipmunks I've really seen are Chip and Dale, the cartoons. So I have no real idea of how big they are. So I know that a squirrel's probably about that big, it's about the size of a rat-ish. Anyway, it's, but a chipmunk was about that big. It was tiny. And I just thought I could put that in my pocket and just run away and have a pet chipmunk. But, I'm sure that they've probably got rabies like the squirrels and things like that. So. So that was the zoo. Now, before I left, I'd seen a lot of things about the zoo, and that it was on a hill, and that it was quite hilly. And I've been to Sydney Zoo, Taronga, and I know that that's very hilly. But someone I worked with, he went, "Oh, it's only a gentle incline." Well, I thought, okay, excellent, I'll do that. Well, his idea of a gentle incline is not my idea of a gentle incline. And this thing was like this. And what it was is you get in at this part where it's lovely up high and you come down, and that's lovely. And then you've got to go back up again if you want to get out. And look, it was starting to get really warm by then. I probably spent a good 3 or 4 hours at the zoo. And I was so hot, tired, my legs were starting to ache, and I just thought, I've had enough. I've had enough of this place. I did see at the top there was a zoo map, and it did sort of say, okay, Woodley Park train station, is that away? And then it had underneath it uphill, and then it had the other one, Cleveland. Both were a 10-minute walk, and I'm thinking, 10-minute walk uphill or 10-minute walk downhill? I know which way I'm going because I'm sick of going uphill now. So that's the reason why I didn't get a shot of the very big escalator at Woodley Park. I am determined to go back there, and they did say on the news that there's a purple line that's going to open up, and that's going to have the longest escalator on their train system, and that will be a 3-minute ride up to the top or bottom, whichever way you're going. So I'm determined to get on that one as well when the purple line opens. But anyway, that was the zoo, and that was my first Smithsonian outing. Loved it. It was a great zoo. And I can't wait for my next Smithsonian trip, which is going to be to the American History Museum. So today I want to talk about Duck Duck Jeep. And this could be something that's in Australia. I had never heard of it. Anyway, I'm driving down the road with a whole group of new teammates, workmates, and this car goes past, and on the front of the console, like on the dashboard, there's all of these ducks, like the whole line of ducks, like little rubber ducks, and on the front of the car, like on the inside of the car, but on the front of the dashboard. And I went, oh, look at that. There's a hell of a lot of ducks on that car. And they went, oh yeah, that's Duck Duck Jeep. I went, what? Duck Duck Jeep. Apparently, if you've got a Jeep and someone likes your Jeep, they give you a little duck. And I'm like, bullshit. And so people go around giving out ducks to Jeeps they like the look of. And I just thought, it still floors me. But so people go around with ducks that they just hand out to people with Jeeps. I mean, I think, yeah, obviously it doesn't work. It's not Duck Duck Toyota, so it's Duck Duck Jeep. So it's only Jeeps that get this. And so I went, oh, this is bizarre. And so then I Googled it because I just went, okay, I need to tell everyone about Duck Duck Jeep. Now I've got a few photos. Now, I've got some photos. So we've got pictures of Jeeps, and then I've got pictures of Jeeps with ducks in their car. So I Googled it, and it's not an American thing. It actually started in Canada about 4 years ago, just during COVID. And some woman in Ontario saw another Jeep. I think she's a Jeep owner as well. She saw a Jeep and went, I like that Jeep. I'm going to leave them a duck with a little note on it saying, I like your Jeep. Just to, brighten their day, hopefully. And so that's what she did. And then I think she told her friends about it, and they decided, well, they were going to keep doing this. And it's now spread to quite a number of countries. I've seen Spain, obviously to the US. If it has made it to Australia and you've heard of Duck Duck Jeep, or wherever you're watching this from, if you've heard of Duck Duck Jeep and you've seen evidence of Duck Duck Jeep going on in your city, in your hometown, let me know in the comments, because I'd really like to know how widespread is Duck Duck Jeep. It's also known as Jeep ducking. Yeah, Jeep ducking. Look, whenever you use the word duck and then ducking, I'm always worried that I'm going to say something I shouldn't. Jeep ducking. Now, and there's some rules around this though. I think what you do, you don't necessarily have to give a duck to any Jeep you see, but what you should do is write a little note on it, like nice ride or cute Jeep, and hashtag you've been ducked. And then you leave it somewhere where they can see it. So it's somewhere prominent, so they don't just drive off. So generally it's on the driver's side near the door there. And so that recipient, that person who's been Jeep ducked, can then either give that off to another Jeep that they like the look of, or they can keep it and put it in the console of their car. Now, the dashboard of their car is then called a duck pond. And so they can have multiple ducks, like all of the ducks that they've been given. So that's Jeep ducking, Duck Duck Jeep. And I just still think this is bizarre. And so, like I said, I've got a few pictures. If anyone's heard of it, please let me know. I still, it makes me, I don't even know where you get the ducks from, where you buy them from, whether there's a, this is a duck Jeep store or something like that. I just wouldn't know. And then you've got to write stuff on it. So I say, you've got to be prepared. If you want to be a duck Jeeper, a Jeep ducker, I have no idea. But I mean, this is apparently I've got it written down here. 68,000 members are in a Jeep ducking Facebook group. I don't know how many more times I can say duck Jeep and Jeep ducking. And so far I've managed to do it without completely mucking it up. But there you go. That's something I'd never heard of when I got over here. And it's not like it's an isolated incident. I've seen quite a few Jeeps. I would have tried to get more photos, but those Jeeps are going pretty quick. But yeah, that's the latest differences that I've seen for this week. Thanks. So I've come to the end of another vlog. I hope you've enjoyed it. As always, if you've got any comments or you've got any questions, please feel free to put a comment below in YouTube or in any of the social medias where you've found this. Life's good. I'm still in the same place, as you can see from the background. I should be moving out this week, so the next time you see me, I'll have hopefully a brand new flat to show you that I'm moving into. My stuff will come over from Adelaide that I've sent over, so that'll be good. So a few extra clothes and crockery and cutlery and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that. The big question is, will my container of food make it over here? Oh, I so hope so. But I'll let you know. So I'm settling in well. I'm liking Washington DC. People are really friendly here. It's really nice, and they're happy to ask questions rather than just say hello or anything like that, or just nod and things. I was having lunch somewhere, and I asked a couple whether I could just sit at their table. It was a massive big table, and they were like, oh yes, not a problem. Are you having a good day? Have you enjoyed yourself where you are? And I just thought, oh, that's lovely, isn't it? It's really nice. So see, I'm loving the friendly people in the US, in Washington. I have met some people that prey on tourists. So the National Mall is the main drag of Washington, where all of the Washington Monument is, the Lincoln Memorial, a lot of the Smithsonian museums and things like that. What they have is all of these food trucks along the way, and a lot of them are ice cream trucks, like a Mr. Whippy type thing, and they're lined up along the mall, and you can get all kinds of stuff. You can get gyros, or gyros as they call them here, or tacos, or other kinds of things. You can get donuts and churros. But I decided I felt like soft serve ice cream, and so I thought I'll just walk on down and get myself an ice cream. So I said to the bloke, there was no signs up anywhere, but I sort of said, can I just have a single soft serve with some chocolate sprinkles? And I did sort of say to him, how much would that be? And he went, just hold on a minute. And he went off and did something. And then the next thing, he's handed me the ice cream. Now I had, all right, I've got a $10 note on me because I'm thinking I'll get change, because it shouldn't be more than $10. Well, it didn't even cross my mind that it would be more than $10. I just went, here's the $10, I'll get change from this. And then he handed it to me and he went, that's $10. And I went, what? And then went, okay, and just gave it to him because he's handing me an ice cream. And I then worked it out, my God, that's like about 15 Australian dollars for something that would cost, I reckon, $5.50 in Australia. So I've just spent 3 times as much and then went, is this normal? So I'm in a Facebook group that's all about tips for getting around Washington and what are some of the things to see, that kind of stuff. It's for visitors to Washington who want to know what to do for sightseeing. And so I did put that up there and went, is $10 a normal price, or was I just completely duped? And they did sort of come back and say, you have to be careful with the food trucks because they are an absolute rip-off. And then these other stories started coming out. So some other lady bought an ice cream and then like a stick ice cream. Now, I don't know if that's like a Zupa Duper or like a Magnum. But anyway, 2 of those cost her $27, which is $35, I don't know, ridiculous amount for 2 ice creams. And so basically it's ask before you buy, and then if you don't want to pay that price, you don't have to. But yeah, they're absolute rip-offs. So I just went, okay, I've just been I'm a sucker. Look, in their defense, they did fill that up. There was a lot of ice cream in that ice cream cone, but wasn't even any chocolate down the bottom like you get in Copenhagen, now that I think of it. But anyway, so yeah, they saw me coming, and it's my own fault. So I know now the food trucks, if I go back there, I'm asking the price before I buy anything. But hey, you live and learn, don't you? All right, well, that's all I've got for you this time. I'll see you next time. Bye.